Here we go. Really welcome, Manuela, to another Possibility Team meeting, Become Music. I want to get us started. By going into our first position, creating the space for navigation of music, navigation of this space. So I want to invite you to take a deep breath. And start bringing in your attention, your center, your energetic center into front of you, into a small here and small now, right in front of your face. When you're ready, bring that energetic center into your physical center. Whether your energetic center is in a different place, in the past or in the future, or is in somebody else's space or in a project, the invitation is to bring it to the here, small here and now, into this very space, and bring it, your energetic center, into your physical center, in between your hips, under your belly button, in the core center of your being. And when you're there, click your fingers and declare your grounding cord from your center, from the center of your being to the center of Gaia. And at the count of 3, please share the color of your grounding cord. 1, 2, 3. Mine is orange.
Mine too.
So declare your bubble of space. And we are on. Now I'm going to click my fingers one more time to declare a golden cube of workspace for holding this exploration. And this is a golden cube that you can declare anytime when you are doing an experiment for yourself, for creating your own space, for creating your laboratory, your place of experimentation. And this golden cube of space, it covers both of us, whether we are here in different locations. And it has a thick grounding cord, about that thick. It's a black, thick grounding cord that can take any excess of emotions, any excess of energy. It can be grounded with the earth. And this space is filled with music, exploration, teamwork, love happening, and winning happening. And if there is any principles that you want to bring and nurture, and seeds that you want to plant and water into the space, you can bring them now. You can
Adventure.
Say attention.
And love. Adventure and love.
Adventure, yes. Thank you. I want to get started this space with asking if there is any reports, any discoveries from your week this week, anything that's alive for you that you want to share from your music research. Any necessities that you might have from the space.
I'm just exploring this resistance thing, you know. On one hand, there's all these lyrics coming, and I'd love to nurture the seed and make something out of it. and I'm here on my own, and I have an e-piano. I don't know how to play yet, but I have toys, and I have a voice too. Nobody's listening. I can do whatever I want. And still there's this resistance of just exploring, just kind of fooling around until something new comes out. There's this, as if
Yes.
it's crazy.
Stay with
Nobody
that
listening.
feeling. Stay with
Stay
that
with that feeling.
feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, stay with that feeling of resistance. Yeah, and you just keep sharing from that feeling that you have this big inspiration, these lyrics that are coming, you have
Fear.
voice.
It's fear.
Yes.
Nobody listening. I have
Yes.
fear. I'm like, I
Yes.
do this and I do that, and I don't do all kinds of things, except that what I feel like I really would like to do this now, kind of explore, go into this space of possibility, see what comes out without squeezing it in and stuff, right? I know that space. I trust in it, but heck, I'm all by myself. I have all the time in the world. There's no excuse. I don't have any work, don't have any commitments. I'm all by myself. And there's this like inner trembling. So the other day, how was that? I experienced something.
Yeah, and keep staying with your feelings. Yeah.
I was getting annoyed. I was observing this thing, not annoyed of the fear, annoyed of what I did with the fear, just running around. Like, as if somebody else was driving me, right? I got annoyed. And I think at some point I kind of just gave up. I was going outside, lying on the floor, on the terrace, just lying down there, and I decided I'm not gonna do anything right now. I just lie down here until this thing is over. And I guess this being quiet changed something inside of me. And all of a sudden I went to the piano without thinking and just put my finger on individual keys without knowing and studying about the chords and stuff, and just put the finger on and listen to the sound. And all of a sudden I felt like, oh God, that was the door opener. Just play. And it was such a relief. And it was not about getting something, a specific outcome. It was about entering the process and going step by step and trusting the process. It was such a relief. And then I really enjoyed myself. And I just, with just a few sounds, really, nothing spectacular. And then lyrics were coming up the way I wish it would happen if I ever dared to be in the jazz jam. It happened here by myself. And it just came out like that. So that was cool. So the process was fear, but I didn't, it wasn't conscious enough. So the fear, I just kind of fiddled around, did this, did that, a little nibble, check this, do something that has to be done, kind of thing, like totally havoc, right? And then anger came, and then I was outside lying down, saying, I'm not going to do anything, and like anger. And then, without a conscious decision, I didn't say, I'm angry, I will use this anger too, or anything. No, it just happened. I went to the piano and it happened. That was interesting. That was quite amazing. As if the anger already knew, as if I wouldn't have to control where this goes. Some instancy, how do you say, some or agency or something inside of me already knows where to steer that stuff, this energy. I don't have to control it. Make sure. That was a very interesting experience this week.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got this sensation of pressure. I have to do, or what is next, or how come it's not happening? To your anger, bringing in this like purpose of, okay, I'm gonna not do and just lay down. Now I'm not, and I hear you saying I'm not gonna get up until it's very clear that I have to get up. And then something relax after going into that place of not doing. And then things just started flowing naturally, little by little, one note at a time, until it was this expression of the music that you desire, that you have that you know it's possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Will you say a bit more about when you were in that process where you're angry, when you like went into the balcony and I saw, I don't know if I imagine this, but you lay down?
Yeah, I laid down like, I felt like an Iron Man, but I was lying down like, ugh.
Yes.
My decision was, I'm not gonna do anything right now. It was like, I'm tired of monkey mind. I'm not gonna, I'm surrendering. And this word surrender is kind of a complicated word work as well. Like, I can't take this serious any longer. I'm not willing to play this game any longer. I'm done. I'm not gonna do anything unless I really feel it. That was not a conscious thought, but this is how I felt. Like, I'm done. I don't want to do this like that anymore. I don't want to be a victim of all that shit, this habitual stuff going on. And yeah, I was lying there, and at some point there was like a little spark. I wonder it was the heart. It was not a thought. It was not a thought. It was not a conscious decision. It was like an inspiration or an impulse, an intuition. I just followed this thing, which was not a thought. And it wasn't hard. It wasn't an effort to go finally to the piano and push the button, put the thing on and put my fingers on it. No, it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
And a natural curiosity, a natural flow. Also, I don't know. I really don't know to play the piano. I'm just learning chords and stuff, right? But some magic happened. That was what happened. Yeah. And it wasn't the greatest song coming out, but it was definitely magic. And when I say this, I mean, to me, that's almost, I'm becoming very humble as a witness of these processes that I am part of, you know? Feels like, wow. And also when I say this, I notice like almost like a sadness. Yeah, it almost brings.
Can you let it get a little bit bigger?
It feels like my heart is overflowing and I get tears in my eyes. It's like, it's like.
Let it get as big as it is. Yeah.
It's like, wow. this is inside of me coming out now. Like, like, I cannot explain it with words.
I see like have a bit of feedback or coaching that you let the sadness be there even without explaining it. Just let it be there, because I suspect there is a big message there from sadness. Yeah, just let it get be bigger and be bigger. Let it take over, and then speak from that place when you're ready for it. Yes, that.
It's been there, and I didn't let it out before. It's been there, and it's been tight in there, and I never managed to kind of let it out.
How about now?
Now it's so relieving. It's so relieving. It's still, I feel right now here, like, oh, there are still so many unspoken words here.
Yeah. Will you try this? Will you try saying, I feel sad because, and let the sadness speak, even before you know what it is?
Okay. I feel sad because I have been suppressing this thing. I don't know how I did it, but the fear held me back. And there is so much in there that wants to come out, that wants to be shared without being controlled all the time. And I have been holding on tight and keeping it inside. And I feel sad about not trusting that me too, I can allow myself to just be and say and what is and how I feel and all this. It's sad because that thing has kind of, whatever that pattern or habit was, it makes me almost dizzy speaking about it. There's still this tremendous danger speaking it. It feels like a danger.
Yes.
And the sadness is having held back all the time. It's like as if you take yourself, your beautiful, big, small, little, innocent, precious, pure being, and try to kind of stick it under the rug or dig it in the sand and leave it there. And the sadness is about this. How could you do that? Hide this thing away, that which you are. Yeah, that's sad. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for going there. Thank you for feeling more of that sadness. Yeah, it has a big message. He's asking this question of how is it possible that you put in this innocent thing that is capable of, that is this live, delicate, beautiful, new thing, and that wants to express, and that has aliveness, and that it has a purpose. And how can you put that in, like under the rock, cover it up under the sun? And the sun is that you have been doing that.
Well, to one aspect, especially in close relationships, yes.
In close relationships.
Not daring to speak up, still kind of embarrassed and fearful about how I feel and what I think. Ashamed, still ashamed about, with all these things that I've explored so far, and I've lived and experienced and studied and experimented in workshops and 333 and don't know what, right? And still this shame in close relationships to speak up how you really feel, and the fear when you really show up in that moment with what is, that the other person is not gonna understand, is gonna shut down, is gonna reject you, is gonna hide, run, shut down, close off, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been mostly happening in your close relationships. You're afraid of speaking out your feelings out of
Right.
the fear that how they're going to react, and that there is a danger from speaking your feelings.
Yeah. The danger of walls hitting walls, kind of in, how do you call this, like an ego fight, a dead end road, ending up in stupid discussions about shit, or walls going up, or let's say windows closing up and ending up in dead ends with no communication, not being able to ever speak, not being heard, and the other person neither daring to speak up, as if speaking about feelings and emotions, especially emotions, like the old stuff. I can see that stuff, it's old and stuff, and still I have the urge to speak about it, right? Or the need to kind of bring it out. I want to bring it out and put some air to it and for it to heal. And when there's no safe space, that's when it's so sad.
Yeah, it all stays clogged up. It tells like there is no space for bringing it out and into the air, into the surface, into the light, for it to heal, for it to be heard.
Right.
Is this something that's relevant right now to you in your life? This is happening with somebody?
It has been happening just now. Yeah, it's already more than half a year old. It has been happening. And in fact, the music helped me to process things, because there was just a separation without much talking. And the only thing that I did was accepting the wish of the other person to just be alone. And not send text and stuff, you know. So I had this experience again, to kind of be alone in this and not be able to express myself. So the music helped me. It didn't really help me to talk to other people. I mean, yeah, it's better than, yeah, I felt like talking to other people was like stirring the soup, nothing kind of, it was about that person talking the truth and not just somebody. It never happened. A lot of beautiful songs, well, beautiful, very very emotional songs came out. Yeah. And it helped me to process the sadness.
Yeah. So this has been something that's been happening with somebody for the last year or so. And uh, and you said that music has helped in some ways, but it hasn't really like brought the thing to a solution, to a completion. That there is still something that it hasn't been completed. Even talking about it with others is not completing it.
No, it hasn't been completed because there was no real communication.
Mm-hmm.
This person wants to go into a let's be friends and just not talk much thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like not get any ooh, don't touch this uncomfortable ground.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's just leave it and be friends type thing. And in that sense, it hasn't been a completion for me. And the music, I guess the music helped me to stay kind of healthy, you know. I was like, as if everything ripped apart. You know, we all have our stories and childhood stuff and this and that was what they call probably a re-traumatization. Not the ending, but something that happened before. I don't want to get into the story. And the music really, really helped me to get out of the thinking into the feeling. Even though there were lyrics and the lyrics expressed the things, but then just studying the song, finding chords that match with what I wanted to express and stuff, this playing around and then singing it, crying and crying, singing it, like it was almost beautiful again because it was so true, so honest, and I say courageous. Yeah, it was healing. That was healing. Yeah. And at that moment, I mean, I still don't know where this music thing is going to and why this is happening and all this.
Yeah.
It's one big exploring experiment.
I have the impulse to ask you about this. Yeah, like what do you want it to be about this? Like I hear your journey about with the music. And
What I wanted.
yeah, what do you want with what do you want
Oh,
from this?
I mean, it would be really sweet if this creating music would be that something comes out of this that inspires other people to feel freely as well. That would be beautiful. I mean, if I had a wish, and now I'm almost crying again, but that would be really beautiful. And I'm not thinking about becoming a super singer and stuff, right? Like a superstar, but heck, if these musical vibrations can have such a healing impact on other people in terms of allowing yourself to feel like it is having on me, then this is my intention.
I have an experiment or an invitation that if there is a song there for you that's there right now that you have use your sadness to sing it. I want to invite you. Yeah, have the invitation if you would like to bring that to life now in this space of music, of becoming music.
Are you saying a song that I wrote?
Yes. Well, I'm getting the sense that is this song. It might be a specific song that you have.
There
Where
is a
you,
specific song.
yes, that one.
Okay. Okay. Shall I try to accompany it with a piano? Might not be super fluent, but a little bit.
I would say yes. Whatever you feel is most like can help with the healing, with the feeling freely your emotions, your feelings.
Okay. Let's check.
Yeah, and one part of this experiment that can make it bring it to the next level is that I can role play that person that you're singing it to.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Uh, will you say his name or her name? His name,
is
Martin?
Mhm.
Okay. And just before we go ahead, I want to see if we can get the audio to get more audio from you. And there is a if you can adjust your audio settings to there is a new option called live performance or original sound from musicians. Are you able to see it in your sound settings? Yeah, there is barely any sound coming in. If you go to the audio settings, you should be able to see it on original sound for musicians or original sound, and then activate it and make sure that it's on. On
Audio setting.
yes,
I do.
original sound. It should look like original sound. So what it does is that it doesn't filter out the sound. It just sends the sound as it is.
It's on.
Okay.
Down to and try to get in music mode and signal cut.
Well, it sounds okay.
That's the phone.
Maybe with your headphones. I don't know if you'll be able to do it with your headphones. That was a little bit better, but up to you.
Am I supposed to go to the phone?
Well, there is a setting in the computer for just sending the original audio without balancing it. But I don't know if it's on.
Optimized audio. It says Zoom optimized audio, original sound for musicians,
Original sound for
live
musicians.
performance audio,
Yeah, that last one.
automatically join computer, advanced, echo cancellation.
So it should be the live performance audio.
I'm not sure which one you are referring to. My automatically adjust microphone volume. That's on, and then it goes to audio profile.
Yes. So the automatic.
Audio profile.
Let's go one at a time. So automatic adjust microphone volume.
Sorry, I didn't hear that now.
Okay. So automatic adjust microphone volume, that's unchecked. We don't want it to automatically adjust the volume.
You don't?
We don't.
Okay.
Great. And then in
And
audio
now,
in audio profile, the next one, you choose live performance audio.
did it?
Okay, that's it. I think it already sounds so much better.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you tell me this person's name was Martin.
Martin.
Martin. Okay. So I'm gonna click my fingers and I'm gonna role play Martin.
No.
Hi, Manuela.
Hi, Martin. We don't talk, suffocating. Don't speak out loud, equivocating. Confused and numb. Don't know why. It's so very sad. I can just cry and cry. And return to love. Return to love. Wounded hearts afraid to let go, afraid to do wrong. I can't live like that. I can't live like that any longer. Not living, not dying. But return to love. Return to love. Afraid to lose control, afraid to get mad, afraid to feel, afraid to get sad. Something dies inside, disconnected. Don't wanna be no more, no more. Rejected. Return to love. I return to love. Didn't wanna tell you, you might close up even more. But something told me it's alright to feel, to heal, and to return to love. Return to love. Da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Thank you for sharing that song, Manuela.
Thank you for listening.
Is there anything that you like to say to Martin?
The only thing that I want to say is, I love you, and I don't want to change you. No, this whole, how do you call this, attachment thing. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna complete that as if I'm Martin. I am Martin. You love me and you don't want to change me. You don't want to play the game of being attached.
I want to be free, and I want you to be free.
You want to be free and you want me to be free.
And I want any relationship be governed by love and not fear.
You want your relationships, every relationship, to be governed by love and not fear.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to say to Martin?
I love you and I let you free.
You love me and you let me free. Is there in your language? Is there like how you said in your language? If you're speaking to him, do you speak to him in English?
Yes.
In English?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. You love me and you let me free. Thank you, Manuela.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna speak as Jorge now. At any time that if there is any more that comes off from this, uh, ask for a space of listening. Ask me or asking the emotional healing process group for a space of listening or a space of completing communication about this or a space of processing emotions. This is as an adult the way of taking responsibility for having a space where your emotions are safe to be felt. And sometimes our relationship spaces, they are there is so much enmeshment and entanglement and conditioning, and we're working so close to each other that it's hard to be in a sober emotional space or in a space where emotions are safe to be felt. Because there's the triggers that come up. There is the programming from our childhood that comes up.
Well, that's in fact why I enter relationships. It's a great opportunity to face stuff. But then
Yeah.
if you don't bring it up and bring it to the light, you can't heal.
Mm-hmm. And you see, are you talking about yourself? Like you go into relationships to explore this, to be in this, and then are you reaching a point where you can't share anymore?
To be honest, I don't really think about why I enter a relationship. Just kind of happens. However, I believe relationships are the ultimate way of getting to know yourself even better by facing challenges and triggers.
Yes. Yes, and the question is, are you, do you, like, do you still go into that space in that relation where you're sharing your triggers, where you're sharing, or you're doing that process of healing and discovering yourself?
Well, not with Martin, because he's not available for that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So right now I'm like, don't burn your fingers.
What does that mean? Don't burn your fingers.
Just stay away, stay safe.
Right.
Not forever, but right now I want to dig into the deepest rabbit hole of my being.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mm.
Well, it seems to me that you're in a doorway, at a doorway of like really this big exploration of this new, relatively new phase of yourself, of entering into music or exploring your music, and this seems like the perfect laboratory space, the perfect space for exploration, for exploring that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It should give so much fuel, all this emotional movement, all this energy behind this. And I'm also now in a space where I can appreciate without judging into good and bad, or without having to find a reason. What is this for?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It sounds
Mhm.
it sounds magic.
There's certainly a lot of magic to discover. I mean, I'm amazed. Uh, I have my always a lot of things to write around me, right? And sometimes it just goes like, just doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And recently I'm experimenting since I wanted to explore if I can uh, dare to sing in a jazz jam, which didn't happen so far. Ever since the music comes also when I'm not writing. So it already does come directly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like a witness observing the sweetness of the process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Do they have a piano in the jazz jam that you go?
Mhm.
Okay. And do they have like a microphone close to the piano?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Because that thing that you played just now, uh, it's amazing. I mean, there is so imbued, it's so filled with emotion, with your message that you have for inspiring other people to feel their emotions, to feel their feelings, to feel aliveness. Even if it's not perfect, even if you don't think your voice is where it needs to be at, even if it's not the perfect keyword, even if it goes a little bit out of timing, like it already has all of the components of music.
Mm. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it will, if you play that in a space of the jazz jam, you will put the space into a liquid state where it will create so many possibilities for the people that are listening to feel. It will create so many possibilities.
Hmm.
Now I noticed
I
that
can
you're
only
blinking.
I could only imagine this before many people come, just for the locals, the people, the guy who runs the place, the guy who organizes, which are all mega musicians. Just for them could be a possibility. Because they are mega musicians and they are super tuned in and everything. But thinking about what you just said, I could also do with inspiration to feel vulnerable and stuff. Yeah, many people do a lot of drugs and drinking.
Yes, I see. Yeah, they'll be that. So there is this thing that you did, that you described at the beginning, that you were feeling anxiety and this pacing and this fear of not knowing how to do it, what to do, and this pressure. And then you went, you laid down. You went and lay down. You said, I'm not gonna do anything. And from the sensation that I get, it's like that you shifted your point of origin. You organically and naturally and intuitively you shifted your point of origin.
This point of origin creates a little knot in my thinking brain. Are you saying, what do you mean by that again?
So last week we were talking about this, and it's awesome because when you were describing, it's like, wow, Manuela shifted her point of origin intuitively and in a very effective and amazing way. So your point of origin was in this emotional state of jiggerish, by getting some nibbles here and there, like wanting to do something and not fulfilling it, and that your point of origin is in a certain location, and then you intuitively you felt that there was something else is possible.
Okay. Well, if I describe it with my words, before I was not owning my thoughts and emotions and feelings.
Yes.
And then a natural anger came up. I got tired.
Yeah.
I got angry. And instead of trying to analyze what's wrong with me, I just went out and lied down, like, I'm not going to do anything right now. Like anger, presently anger.
Yes.
And that was probably the shift. Like, I'm gonna wait until whatever's supposed to happen.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I get the sense that your anger gave you the information that you're not owning your feelings. You're not owning what you're feeling. Something is not working. And you just like, I'm gonna lay down and wait. And in that moment, with your anger and your patience, the point of origin started shifting slowly to a different position. This is almost imperceptible, but it starts shifting, and then you come into a different place. There is a different perception of reality.
Now I understand what you mean. It's a state of being present without thinking.
Well, it seems like the place where it moved to was that, but there is many different places where it can move to.
Oh.
There is lots of different places where it can move to. There is like 600 different positions in your space where it can move to. So yeah, it moved to that space where there's no thinking. There is no the thinking is not blocking the process of creativity. And it moved there. So you're at
intuitively.
So intuitively and naturally, and yeah, like you did, like exactly, like that is a sorcerer's feat. That to notice that your point of origin, and to move it consciously. So you did it or intuitively, very intuitively. And in a way, it was very conscious. Like your body knew what it was doing, your mind knew what it was doing, your being knew what it was doing. You use your anger. You said, "No more of that. I'm not down for that. This is not serving me. This is not what I'm here for." And it is what I sense is that the gremlin was your gremlin was on the driver's seat. He was creating all of this, and in a way, it's like consuming your energy, and nothing happens. And it's like you use your anger in a very clear way. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm laying down, and that created that shift. That, at least that's what I can see from here. Continuing this topic of the point of origin.
You know, with this gremlin thing, I never realized that you have to feed the gremlin, right? So I was possibly too hard on the gremlin, and then he wouldn't collaborate anymore. This yeah. And now it's about
So then what happened? You were in that tight space and you were like that, and then what happened?
well, I got to a point where the critic criticizes the critic. Another level of critic criticizes the critic, like biting itself in the tail.
Yeah.
And I noticed I can be quite patient with dogs and training dogs. And I can be loving and kind, even though I get angry sometimes in dog training. But I have had dogs, and to me, the gremlin is a little bit like a pet. So now I'm establishing a different relationship. Instead of this thing that drives me nuts, it's more of a thing that also can keep me safe. That I never realized before. I was always big in exploring, crash the box, expand the box, try something new, whatever. In real life too, I brought myself in dangerous situations. And right now, I notice the quality of the gremlin as a positive part to the whole picture. Do you use the gremlin for performing?
Well, before we go there, you're bringing up something very awesome in your discovery that I want to reflect back. And yeah, it's your relationship with your gremlin, which is it's gone from this place of looking like bad, this thing that is annoying you, and this thing that you want to like push away, to these things that is actually bringing something very awesome in your life. It actually has this I don't know what you call them, like skills or these characteristics. I think you call it characteristics or proper.
I can protect something.
Attributes, protect. What does it protect from?
Well, it can protect my values. I don't know if it's the values or the current state of awareness, beliefs, thought maps.
Right. The gremlin, in a way, is a very on impersonal force. Like he's there. I call him my lifelong companion because he's there at all times. And because of this impersonal characteristic or attribute of the gremlin, he has this capacity to go non-linear. He does not give a fuck. He does not, like, it has no rules or this morality or any of this stuff that we have, that maybe our being has. So he has this capacity of non-linearity, which is, like, in a way, to me, that the most amazing thing about the gremlin is that, holy shit, there is a force there right next to me that is with me and is collaborating with me at all time, and people are going on about their lives without even acknowledging this force. I mean, it puts me into a sorcerer's world, into a world of magic and extraordinary, where I'm no longer in the common world of going to work, paying for the mortgage, making money, paying my debts, having drinks with friends on the weekends, drinking my head off until I'm drunk. These, like, very ordinary things, and it really puts that there is a force right there that's collaborating with me at all times and that is interacting with my energy. And the way it interacts, or what I have learned, is that the gremlin, he feeds on my energy. I am his source of life. So if before initiating my gremlin, it will be like a process of my being growing into my shininess, my clarity, my power, my light, my purpose, and then the gremlin eating that up until I'm again at the bottom, and then I'm nothing. I'm poor. I'm broken. There is something wrong with me. I'm not capable. Everybody hates me. The world is shit. I need to survive, otherwise nobody is gonna help me survive. So in this, like really low level, and then the energy might build up a little bit more, and then the gremlin might eat it, and the gremlin can eat so much that it kills the being to death. But generally, the gremlin just eats enough so that he leaves us barely alive, so he can continue growing, so he can keep eating. So in a way, it's like very simple. It's like a food. We're food for the gremlin. And from that place, it goes to this place of, like, he's not my friend. He's not this thing that I don't need to idealize it or put human qualities to it. And in a way, like, initiating your gremlin, it creates this next possibility. It's like a sorcerer's possibility that is not accessible for ordinary man, of initiating your gremlin and having your gremlin, like, what's happening? What is my purpose right now? What is my
Like
gremlin
giving
doing
him a
right now?
job.
That's one of them. But like getting your gremlin's name. Like, what is your gremlin's name? Do you have a name for your gremlin?
Django.
Django?
Django.
Django. Yes. Yes, that resonates. Django. Hello, Django. and yeah, like it creating, giving your gremlin a name, and starting to learn the foods that he eats and how he eats from your energy is the first step of recreating the possibility for a different relation with your gremlin. And this is something that is very extraordinary. It's an edge that I don't know in many circles. I know the ancient Toltecs, which is one of the lineages that I follow, that I've been studying and practicing. They have something similar, a similar distinction to the gremlin, and they work with it. And in this way, I've had like a few different perspectives of the gremlin. But yeah, once you initiated the gremlin, and the gremlin, yeah, you can create experiments of collaboration. You can give him jobs. You can create a different agreement with that force, which is very much like a pet, like you said, which is like a pet. Yeah. Some people leave their dogs out to run and to eat, get on the table and eat their food from their plates, and they throw them food when they're eating, and they don't leave them, like they shed it on the floor, and they make it like a really big mess, or they shed on the patio and they never clean it up. So the gremlin in a way can be like that.
Well, I have been too hard on the gremlin. This constantly well, I'm now exploring the gremlin feeding times.
Are you doing that with a team or by yourself?
No, by myself. I'm still at the beginning of my exploration.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing like your gremlin diet, like finding like days when you consciously feed your gremlin.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
It sounds really weird, but in my case, because I have been experimenting so many years with all these habits and things, right?
Mm-hmm.
A year I got at 4:00 in the morning to check out what happens when you meditated for, and with a group from India, and don't know what. All these things, now curiosity. And my gremlin feeding day is don't do anything. I mean, I end up still kind of going to the sea or whatever. Maybe I even do exactly the same thing, but totally leash, off the leash. For instance, chocolate and ice cream. I eat chocolate and ice cream, but I eat this much. It's it's not a problem. By nature, I do that like this, right? I'm like more of a minimalist.
I see. Yeah, the first with possibility management in getting to know your gremlin, the first task is getting the 50 foods, the 50 gremlin foods, and that in itself is a process of getting to know how the foods work. Because you have the physical manifestation of it. For example, for me, it's like cereal and milk. Cereal and milk, like that was one of my gremlin's foods, or that is one of my gremlin's foods, because I'm still working with it. And the way that it works is that there is the physical manifestation of the food, but there is also the how it works energetically, what it does to the energy. And I was using that food to essentially like put myself down, to kill my energy. Like I will kill my like my stomach energy. I will overload my stomach with food, so that I will be like busy and heavy, and my energy will be like goes down, and then I don't have the clarity to, yeah, and then I will use that to like beat myself up, like be lazy, that don't like not be present in the world, essentially to numb out. And in that process is like the energetic part is the gremlin creating thoughts and ideas and the situations and orchestrating everything for me to get to eat that food, to eat the cereal and milk with sugar. And then once that's there, then it goes to the next layer, which is my beating up, which is the next little bit of energy, and then which is like leave me down until I'm knocked out of energy, and then I fall asleep. And then the next day I wake up like, oh, like again. I woke up like nothing happened. But it was so normal to me. It's been so normal my whole life to do those things. And in doing the list of different foods, like I got to see the different pattern of how I was using food to numb myself. I was using computer screen time to get distracted. Smoking, drink. I used to drink before in the past. I don't do it now. But there is like all of these different strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And in collecting those first 50, then you get to this next step of your clarity of like, oh, okay, like this is how it's operating. This is how it's playing with my with the energy.
You really get 50 foods.
Yes, that's the minimum. Yeah, and
Wow.
I thought it was a lot. It was like maybe like a 1 year research. And then at the transformation, there was a gremlin transformation space with Devin and Tristan, which was amazing. And I was like, I have to make it. This is my time to do it. I think I have the 50 because I had like a list here in this notebook, a list in this other notebook, a list on the internet, a list in this other website, a list on this really old page that I was carrying on my pocket. And I put them all together. And then by the end of it, because it was the day, just the day before the transformation or the prom will start, and I put it all together, and I had like 54 foods. So I just made it. I still have my list, and it's growing, and I'm working with it. Not so much intentionally recently. I'm in a different research with the gremlin right now.
Would you say gremlin food is something that takes energy away from you?
It's one of the tellers. Yeah, that's one of the tellers that it keeps you small. It keeps you small, not dangerous. It keeps you confused without clarity and subdue. If you imagine your luminous being, your bubble of space, that if it's shining when you're at the highest vibration, when the gremlin is there, it's usually that's what he feeds on. He feeds on the luminosity, your shininess, your light, until your light is down by your feet. Mm-hmm. So the rebuilding of the energy starts from the feet up. And that's a distinction that's been helping me. Yeah, so when your energy is low, it's a question of like, what's happening? What is my gremlin? What's happening? Because there is other forces too that are not your gremlin that can also be sucking your energy. These are like energetic leeches, So leeches are these creatures that suck on blood, but there is energetic leeches too. And there is yeah, these beings that are out there that are there sucking on the energy. So in the process of recreating your relation with your gremlin can also give you distinctions about these things. Like he can tell you, it's not me. You got some energetic glitches or something like that, or he can point them out and show them to you. And your gremlin can also tell you what other gremlins are up to. What is other gremlins doing?
For instance, when you talk to somebody and make yourself small while talking, that would be gremlin.
If you don't know what your gremlin is doing, yes. But it could be that you are doing intentionally for creating a certain effect, for creating a certain mood or energetic in the space.
Okay, to make people comfortable and stuff.
It depends on your purpose. Yeah, but like the question is like, are you consciously playing small? Are you choosing to play small for a purpose that it serves your bright principles or your or what you want to create? Is it supporting their aliveness and your aliveness? Or is it something that's happening to relate on the gremlin level, to have gremlin intimacy, which is let's consume your energy. I consume your energy and you consume my energy, and we let each other consume each other energy. This is gremlin intimacy. And then by the end of it, we're exhausted. We're like, tired.
Yeah, there's a lot of different situations. I do sometimes use this consciously. Like I sometimes use stories, past stories or stuff, or metaphors and things.
Yeah, your gremlin can become a resource for your aliveness, for your principles. That we all come to this world with a set of principles, bright principles and shadow principles. And so you can be either serving conscious purposes or unconscious purpose. So when you're serving conscious purpose, you have the possibility that you have your gremlin beside you, and your gremlin is not eating your energy. He's there. He might be there. He might be maybe snooping around. Maybe you have it on the leash. But you have the possibility to ask the gremlin, or the gremlin gives you possibilities like, the gremlin is up to this. The gremlin is trying to hook you into their low drama confusion strategy, and then you cut it, and then you can act from there.
Kind of hold the leash tight and give a new kind of order.
Yeah, that the reason for the leash is so that he's not running around strategizing, because essentially he's a super intelligent creature that orchestrates things. He can scan somebody in a split of a second and know how he's gonna extract energy from them, or how he's gonna use that person to extract energy from me, or if it's my gremlin. So he's like, how is my next meal? What is my next feed? How am I gonna feed next? And then like, he notices that person, like that person is perfect for my plan, blah, and then he starts orchestrating everything, and it's about energy and consuming energy and rendering us docile, submissive. And in possibility management, the difference is that, I mean, they bring the distinction that that you can use the gremlin for your bright purpose, and still, like, it's a research field for me. I experience it as an impersonal energy, and I'm working with having it close to me, so that that energetic chain or belt is for him not to be running around into the space and to, like, orchestrating those things, but that he can tell me, like, oh, that person is available for this, or they're throwing this invitation for you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's definitely a research field. It's like something to be felt and something to be experimented with. A few weeks ago, we did experiment of feeding our gremlin with music, or I did that video, I think, of feeding our gremlin with music. And what this does energetically is that it makes the bubble shine with music. Like, I allow music to fill my bubble and to fill me energetically, with rhythms, with melodies, with harmonies, with silences, and with this co-creation of sounds, organization of sounds. And the gremlin loves that because it's non-linear, and because my energy is getting filled. So essentially my energy is pouring out, and he can feed from that. He can feed from that excess of energy from the music pouring out. So in that way, my gremlin is fed. I'm not depleted because I'm tuning in with music, and then it creates a space for a different something else is possible. We're both getting what we want. We're both getting it. I'm
I
getting.
have a feeling with me it's the same with the music.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when playing with other people together,
Yes.
or in this one special moments every once in a while. This non-linear creation happening, no? And everything goes, ah. Uh-huh.
Yes.
But non-linearity is a big ingredient in my life, and also a bread principle
Mm-hmm.
in so many ways. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say like that's like a close collaboration with your gremlin.
But before, I haven't done this consciously, but intuitively, because intuitively I sense, even though you don't know why, just do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even though you don't know why, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like big things. It works really well for big things.
Mm-hmm.
Moving to another country or things like that. Uh-huh. Like without having a plan set up, just following my guts, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the gremlin loves that.
Yeah. Well, I'm hearing the principle of improvisation, improvising.
Oh, this fills my heart.
Mm.
Yeah, because it's this creating from nothing.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy because, I should say, everything is there and we can just apply it and create something new out of it. That's what improvisation is for me, and that's so beautiful, elegant, inspiring, nurturing, expanding.
Yes. Yeah.
So, let's say my play with the gremlin, it's always this little finding the balance of between discipline and play.
Mm.
Let's say if you make the play a must, a discipline as well, it's no more play. It's a duty. And that doesn't work.
If you make play a duty or a must.
Yeah. Let's say, for instance, you find out, playful is much better. It works better than pressure. Well, then it's very easy to say, oh, you got to do this playfully now. You have to play now. And so it doesn't work. You cannot have to play. You got it, no? Uh-huh.
He's like,
with the music.
I have to play. I have to play. It's
with
my time to
studying the
play.
music, for instance, right? Since years, I'm trying to find out a way how I can learn music, right? And this regular studying music with notes doesn't really work. I have a little app. I can read notes now. I could possibly find the things on the piano as well. It doesn't feel right. My gut says, you need to do this differently in order to really get what you want to get out of this, because I'm not interested in playing sheet music and stuff. I want to improvise. I want to find new songs, explore feelings and make them into songs and stuff. So what I did with the music was I learned with a jazz guitarist who's really wild. And he taught me like jazz theory, some of it, not everything. Oh, and I was like, what? Counting the steps between and all these things. My brain was going, wow. But I knew it's okay. You just take these things. You don't have to stress because you don't understand the whole system yet. And just take it as it is, with like more playfully. And at some point there was a little click. I'm still in the clicking process. Yeah. I guess that's for the people who have non-linearity as their bright principle.
Yes. No, and I see there's like a principle at play, something called like simplicity, or something called like I see it as simplicity. And I hear your process. Yeah. That when it becomes too technical and too heady, that it loses the appeal, it loses the it loses the magic that it has.
However, interestingly enough, learning with this musician a different way, it was very heady. Basically, we learned the Círculo de Quintas, things like that, no? The fourth, like the how do you call this now? diminished and this and that and don't know what. All these things, no? Wow, jungle. And I was dedicated, even though it was heady. Intuitively, I felt this is the way to go. It's a little bit like going in the jungle and learning the plants. Once you know the plants, you know which ones are toxic and which ones not. And you just know how to find your way. You don't have to eliminate anything. You just know how to navigate through the jungle. That was my intuition with this approach to learning.
Amazing. Well, I noticed we're at the top of the hour. Was there anything else that you wanted to say, just to close it up?
Well, I highly appreciate your work. I feel so honored that I have the possibility to be in this space with you. Thank you. Yeah, it's very much nurturing.
Thank you, Manuela.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I have an experiment for this week.
Okay.
And is of doing the process of distilling your bright principles. And so distill your bright principles. There is a process.
I have done this, fun enough, just last week.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. That's very
just now,
synchronistic.
actually yesterday or Sunday I did it. And yesterday I did it again just to check
Did you
if it's still the same.
Did you do it with a team or with
I first
somebody?
did it with a team.
Yeah.
Online in a workshop. And then the next day I figured I'm missing a thought principle. So I did the whole thing again with a book. Like the 26 questions. And there were a few other things coming out, but it's all in the same direction.
Okay. Okay, so if you have already distilled your bright principles, that's great. You have your bright principles, and the experiment will be to sing from your bright principles. You can call forward three of your 5 bright principles, or like call in a few of them, at least 3. Have at least 3 of them in there, and put them on a piece of paper, on a triangle, and sing from your bright principles. Just have that piece of paper in front of you, put a timer for 3 minutes. If you like to record it, and so that you can share it and you can review it yourself, visual review, audio review, and audio-visual review. And that'll be the experiment for this week, to sing from your bright principles.
Okay, will do.
And then share with the team how it went.
Will do.
Awesome.
Thank you. Well, I'm already curious what comes out.
Yes, me too. Thank you, Manuela, for the aliveness that you bring into the space.
Thank you.
We'll see you again next week.
Alrighty. Bye-bye. Thanks.